Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. It feels like the longest time since I've recorded a makeup look. It really hasn't. It's just been like a week. I just had a few days where I just had no inspiration, and the thought of getting dressed and sorting my hair out and putting some makeup on, I just wasn't really in the mood for it. Now don't worry though, the inspiration has slowly been coming back to me, and I have really been in the mood to do something green. I don't know why, but I feel like it's been a while. Except that the more I thought about this look that I had in mind, the more I realized it was incredibly similar to one that I did about a year and a half ago, which I will put up on the screen right now. If you haven't seen that look already, it is a little bit older, as I said, but I will link the video that it is from, which is the review of the Revolution Forever Flawless Chilled palette. Spoiler alert, if you're planning on watching it after this video, I didn't really like the palette at all. I had not used it since that video, and spoiler alert for my last video, which should have gone up 2 days ago, hopefully, if everything's gone to plan, I actually decluttered that palette because, again, I hadn't touched it. So that declutter will also be linked for you guys. I guess we're kind of gonna do an updated version, but just make it look a lot better, make it a lot more me, and with eyeshadows that I didn't hate, I guess. So yeah, enough chit chat. I am gonna go and prime my eyes with my P. Louise base, and I'll be right back so that we can jump into the eye look. Alright guys, so my eyes are now primed. I used, as always, my shade 0.5 in my P. Louise base. I have also stuck down my brows with the Pink Honey Original Super Hold. Again, that is a video that I will link for you guys if you haven't already seen it. Quick update, this is now my third time using it, and my second time went so bad compared to the first time on video. I used way too much water and it just wasn't working, so that is something that I would say to be aware of. The right eyebrow has gone really well. I'm really happy with the shape. I'm still struggling on the left brow. It's really weird. I haven't stuck it down as well. The shape is really angular. Maybe I need to trim them, and I have loads of bits in there, so I don't know. I'm still getting used to it, but so far I would say 2 out of 3 attempts have gone pretty well. Anyway, after that, let's now jump into the eyeshadow look, and I thought I would use a Revolution palette that I have actually decided to keep, which is my colour book. This is CB05. It's really hard to get used to what fits in the lens and what doesn't anymore now that I've changed it. Unfortunately, the plastic separator has broken, which is really annoying, but you know, the palette still works. I mean, it's not going to stop it from working. I just hope the actual packaging doesn't break. Anyway, I am blabbering on. I'm going to start by taking my Morphe M124, and we are going to go into the matte side of the palette. I'm going to start with this lovely deep shade of green. Ah, I just stuck a finger in one of the shimmers. That's going to end up all over my face as well because that's blue, so I know I'm going to make a mess. So I'm just going to go back over my P. Louise base, make sure I don't have any creases before adding on my eyeshadow, and then I'm gonna take my M124 and start packing on that colour into my crease, or rather just above, because I'm doing a cut crease, so I need to take the colour high out. And I'm gonna go for a rounded shape, so I'm just gonna come into the lower lash line, just into the corner, and work on creating that nice circular corner. I'm going to take a bit more. I'm going to pack it on the outer corner, and then just add some more, deepen this up and get it nice and even. Next up, I'm going to take a Zoe the 231, and I think for my next shade I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to use that to blend out the first one. The hardest part of using this palette is literally just remembering what shade you use, just because they do look quite similar sometimes. Okay, and then I'm going to take a Morphe M456, and I'm going to come into the shade down here, and same again, I am just going to blend. Okay, yeah, this one is a lot more pigmented than the others. It's just picking up a lot better. And then again, always coming in underneath and making sure to round off that edge. But I'm not going to keep it circular. I'm kind of going to turn it into an oval. I've made a bit of a mess underneath. But you guys know I don't mind too much because I always come and clean up when I do my concealer. It's why I like to do my foundation after my eyes. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that so far. Next, we're gonna take a Morphe M433, so it's like the same brush but just a bit bigger. I'm gonna go into this shade here, which is nice and light, and I'm gonna pop that on right at the front. Again, just blending. And then we are gonna come into this part as well. Again, I'm forgetting which shade I've used. This happens all the time with this palette. You can see I'm pretty much at the brow bone over here. And then we're gonna come in underneath as well. And just working our way kind of outwards that way. I'm just gonna do a bit more at the front to really brighten it up. And then just to really lighten that up right at the end, the last thing I'm going to do is take the shade First Light from the Beauty Bay Pastels palette, and this time I'm taking a Morphe M441, which is a nice, really big brush, and that's going to go right on the outside. And I think again, right at the front of the eye. So now I'm just going to quickly go through all those shades again from darkest to lightest, just to make sure that none of them are getting lost. Alright, so now I'm just going to quickly go and cut my crease off camera, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, I've gone for a more rounded shape for my cut crease, and I've just used the Mica Beauty Cosmetics primer for it. I think it's working for me as a primer because it's not quite as thick and creamy as the P. Louise bases, so just when it comes to cut creases, I think I like it better. So let's move on to what we're going to put on the lid, and when I look at the original photo, the thing that kind of jumps out to me is how boring the lid is. And again, if you do watch the video for the chilled palette, I was so disappointed by those metallics, and yeah, boring is a good way of describing them. So instead, I'm going to use a pigment, and I thought I could go with Autumn Love from the Pastel Roses. I'm trying not to tip it over too much. It's like a gold greeny duochrome with a pink, so I just thought it was really interesting. So that is exactly what we're going to use, and I'm going to start off with some NYX Glitter Primer as a base. I really need to purchase more of it. I should have just picked it up in the Beauty Bay Black Friday sale. I really don't know why I didn't. So just taking any sort of flat brush, I'm going to pack it on top of the base, and that base is unset right now as well. And this is also going to remove any creases that I might have gotten in the base, so that's always a good thing. And so now I'm just going to go in with a flat brush and the pigment. As I'm putting that down, I've literally just remembered that I did another look with this pigment, and it was also a green eyeshadow using the Juvia's Place Tribe palette, so I guess I'm just recycling my own ideas at this point. Oh well! I hope the duochrome is coming across on camera. It is super pretty in real life. And then just on a Morphe M506, I'm going to go into the shimmer side of the palette. Really hard to get this in. And I'm going to take this one. Yeah, let's go with this one. And I'm just going to pack it on as a transition. And then I'm just going to take a tiny bit more of my darkest shade back on that Morphe M124 that I used right at the start, just to blend. If you haven't tried the Pastel Roses, I do highly recommend them. Everything will, of course, as always, be linked down below. I don't have any sort of code with them or any affiliation, but these pigments are stunning. Indie brands are just where it's at when it comes to pigments. They do an incredible job. So in the original look, I did a smoky liner and then went on top of it with some of the glitter from the palette. I don't have that glitter, obviously, anymore because I've decluttered the palette, but we're gonna make it work anyway. I'm just gonna start off with my Inglot Gel Eyeliner, and I'm gonna trace a rather thick wing, and I'm going to smoke it out into the eyeshadow. So I'm just going to stop the eyeliner here, and I'm going to do my other eye first before smoking it out, just because otherwise the product's going to spread out everywhere. So I like to give it a little bit of a second to dry down first. So now that that's had a second, I'm going to take my M124 from the start, and I just come in and literally pat in. So I bring it outwards into the corner, and then I also pat back towards the liner, so I'm not extending it too much. And then I'm just going to take a Zoeva 231, the one that I used earlier with one of the other greens, and I'm just going to blend. Okay, and then actually before I come and cover that up, I do want to add some liner details. So I'm going to take the shade Mellow from Sheen Cosmetics. I just add some water, and I'm going to line the top of the cut crease. Okay, so now that I've done that liner detail, I think my gel liner should pretty much be fully dried down. So next up I'm going to take this Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit, and the shade is Emerald. And I'm just going to take that on another liner brush. I'm going to lift it off the doe foot and just pop it on top of the liner. For the lower lash line, I really want to do something contrasting to the green, and initially I was thinking purple, but now that we've got that pink on the cut crease, I think it's just gonna have to be pink. So I'm gonna start off with my P. Louise base in the shade Winter Rose on a Zoeva 231, and I'm gonna prime my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take another clean Zoeva 231, I'm going to go back into the Pastels palette, and this time I'm going to take this shade, which is Lovesick, and I'm going to pack it on. I'm going to bring it down and make sure it's meeting up with my other shades. It's not going to go quite as low because I do want to come and clean this up later anyway. Alright guys, apparently the last few steps haven't been recorded. I'm really sorry. I think all that was missing is I just added some, not lash glue, glitter glue to the lower lash line, and I went over it with the pigment, and then on the waterline I've gone ahead and used the Barry M High Vis liner in Strobe Light, I think it's called. So I'm just going to go and do my foundation off camera now just to save us a little bit of time. Everything that I use will of course as always be listed and linked down below, and if there are any affiliate links they will be clearly marked. You have no obligation in using them, but if you do decide to, it does really help my channel. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and do that and I'll be right back. Guys, I'm having the worst time with my skin at the moment. I feel like nothing sits right on the forehead. I feel like I've got it to a point where I'm kind of happy with it, but it's just no. Anyway, I have done my foundation and my concealer, but I haven't powdered yet because I want to go in with a liquid blush, which is of course the Barry M Fresh Face Cheek and Lip Tint in Summer Rose. As I've mentioned before, this was sent to me because I was part of the ad campaign for the Fresh Face collection, and this is definitely my favourite product from the range. It's just got such amazing pigmentation. It's converted me to liquid blushes. So I'm just going to pop some on the back of my hand. That's loads. And I'm going to take my sponge, really try and dab off that excess because I've got way too much. And I am going to pop it on, and I wanted to go for something quite draped on, so back all the way here and into my temple. And now that I'm doing this, this is making me think that this look now also looks like another one that I did a few years ago that was that was not good. The lashes that I had used in previous looks, which I do all the time, it's fine, but I used to use my mascara over my lashes, and I didn't realise how ruined those lashes were, and the fact that I should not have been using them and they should have been in the bin. So yeah, I'm just taking the blush all the way into the temple. I just think that these liquid blushes have got a really nice amount of pigmentation, and it is just really user-friendly. Like, look at how easy that is. It's just, just very little work. I'm really liking them. I've just taken a little bit more. I kind of want to pick them all up. I do want to get the other ones. I'm just going to add a bit more just to really intensify it. And then I'm going to take some on my nose. I feel like I finally mastered blush on my nose. Actually, I haven't. My foundation is lifting off. It's just not going well today. It just is not. Maybe this would be better suited to use over a thinner foundation on the nose because I've gone for something quite full coverage, but I really need the coverage at the moment. Seeing as we've just used a cream blush, I may as well use a cream bronzer as well. So I'm going to use my Bronze Chic Universal Bronzing Balm from W7, and I'm going to take this on my flat brush from Iconic London, and it's going to help me finish blending out the cream blush as well. Yeah, I don't know if cream products really work with this MUA foundation. I feel like oh, it's just not going right. Like, I feel like these cream products like this bronzer and this blush are just better suited to use with, you know, really light and natural foundations. But my skin is not here for light and natural foundations at the moment. I'm just gonna go with it. To be fair, my skin might not be doing well today, but looking at those older Instagram photos from those looks that I've mentioned, I would say that my skin is doing better than that. Either that or I've just learnt to cover it up better. Could be either. Could be either. And then as always, I'm taking that on my E62 as well. And you guys know I like to do my lower lip and my nose. This smell, every time I use it, it makes me need a holiday. We haven't been on a proper holiday for 2.5 years now. All I want is some sunshine and to be on a beach with a cocktail. Before I powder, I'm just gonna go in with some Too Faced Hangover Primer just to rehydrate everything because I feel like it just needs it. And now that that powder has fully dried down, I'm gonna use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish as always in the shade Light. I'm gonna deepen up that bronzer a little bit, so I'm gonna take my Fenty Beauty bronzer in the Sun, just on my angled Iconic London brush. Just pretending the weather has been nice lately, which it hasn't, but no one needs to know that. And then I'm going to contour with the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Contour Kit in the shade Fair. Really, really deepening that up. And then just to make the blush a little bit stronger, I'm going to take my Anasui Black Powder Blush in the shade 302. And again, I'm going to take it on the temple. I really like the smell of that blush. For my highlighter, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter in the shade Blossom Glow because it's been a while. And it is super pretty. It is a nice highlighter. I think this look definitely needs some fake freckles, so I'm going to go in with my Lottie London Freckle Tint. I was going to say in a shade, but I think they only do the one shade. So just going to dot that around and then just use my finger to just spread it around. I really want to try at some point to do fake freckles with self tanner. I've been wanting to do it for ages and it's meant to look really natural, but I'm also really scared that if I mess it up, like, it won't wash off for a few days. I've just realised I haven't come back and blended underneath again after concealing. Sorry, this video like feels a little bit chaotic. So yeah, I'm just taking my M441 again, just running that where the concealer meets the shadow, just so we don't have a harsh edge. So I bought a load of little butterflies and flowers, and it was meant to be for a Valentine's Day look, but I didn't end up doing one, and I thought that would be quite nice to use right now. I will try and remember to link these down below. I'm really bad at doing it, so if I haven't done it, do let me know. They just come in these funky little boxes, little tubs, and they're just like little paper flowers and leaves. So for that, I'm just going to take some lash glue. Let's try a little leaf. I thought the wax pencil would be a good idea, but maybe not. Oh no. Okay, well, I damaged that one, so I'm just going to try some more glue again. There we go. Okay, let's try a little flower this time. Oh. Okay, there we go. And then I think I'm also going to do a couple of gems here and there. Alright, I'm really happy with how that's looking. I'm just going to go and quickly do my lashes and my brows off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we have literally just got lips to do, and I think I'm going to go nude. I feel like if I've got pink on the lips, it might be a bit too much, possibly. Let me try the MUA Velvet Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Antique Gravity. Okay, you know what? I think that works really well. It is actually more of a cool tone nude rather than something a bit warm. So I feel like it does work quite well with the look. And then we're gonna finish off with setting spray. Sorry guys, again, I feel really chaotic today. I'm starting to think that I feel really chaotic all the time. I'm just gonna go in with some more Too Faced Hangover Spray. Alright guys, here is the finished look. I hope as always that you like it. We have ended up very, very far from the original source material. The pigment took it in a completely different direction from where I planned on having it originally. But I absolutely love how it turned out. It makes me feel so ready for spring, for the weather to warm up, to have some sunshine, to be outside. Yeah, I feel really, really springy. I'm really happy with it. I'm trying to make my hair look good, but I think I just need a haircut too bad at this point to really manage to rescue it. I feel like it's just giving me so much grief at the moment. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video. As always, if you enjoyed it, do make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment and letting me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you don't miss out on my next video. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys.